I went to this library in Punggol, the northeast region of Singapore, and the whole time I kept thinking, I wish I could share this with the people back home. So that's what this video is about. There are 5 floors, all full of books, but also interactive features that really draw children to the magic of stories and storytelling. The ground level is dedicated to early literacy, so think lots of picture books and baby's first word types. And the higher in the library you explore, the topics become broader to include books for grown-ups. But let me go into detail about my favorite parts of this library, and I don't think it's a surprise that I spent the most time in the children's sections. So number 1, they have an entire section called Accessible Collection, dedicated to persons with disabilities, their caregivers, and communities, full of stories for and about children with all types of differences. I saw books about autism, ADHD, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and more, and is where my husband finally found the book I specifically went to the library for, and I featured it in my last video. Number 2, they have a calm pod on every floor with an outer and inner room, the latter having padded walls and flooring, and is a safe space for patrons to self-soothe. And just thinking about this again is making me tear up because the acceptance and inclusion of people with different sensory needs fills my heart so much, and it inspires me to fight for this to be the norm. Number 3, a room called Stories Come Alive, where you can select books by touch from the wall, and they're projected all around you, and they can be read aloud too.
Silver river softly roll. Its winding passages charted on accessing some bleak.
This is another great accessibility feature for people with vision impairment or anyone who can't read, whether because they haven't learned or did not learn or have conditions like dyslexia. Number 4, the Tinker Tots area has a toy library with a selection of toys arranged into sensory, creative, tinkering, and dramatic play. I showed this and talked about the stages of play in another video I posted, but as a quick rundown, there were texture blocks and sound makers for very young babies, shape sorters, pegs and puzzles for toddlers, and puppets and costumes for those into pretend play. So now everything I've showed you so far is all still on the first level. Now we move on to my favorite parts of the second floor. Number 5, the Spark Lab, which is a collaboration with the Smithsonian and is a hands-on activity center that encourages children and teens to experiment, to see invention as a process, and to show that everyone is inventive. There were workshop tables with different materials all around the room. There were also diagrams and instructions, but I think you have to reserve seats for specific demonstrations. Number 6, last and probably the best one for me because building narratives is my favorite language phase, the Storyteller Cove. This place was a dream with so many little nooks and corners that can really evoke wonder and stir the imagination. There was a wall that can help you figure out what genre of books you'd be interested in, and it's great if you're a parent trying to buy books for your kids. Your adventure begins when... So if you like Across the Galaxies, then you probably like science fiction. But if you like something like Into a Castle and meet a mythical wizard or a spooky ghost, then you probably like fantasy. You might also like paranormal fiction if you like the spooky ghost, and so on and so forth. So other genres include mystery and realistic fiction. There was a bookshelf with animated clips of popular stories, and I couldn't help checking them all out. To see the characters move, please pull the books gently and release them. 1001 Nights. Maui and the Creation of the Island. Oh my goodness. Maui. The Bear and the Fire. So cool. And I know I've been saying favorite part all throughout this video, but promise this last one really truly is my favorite part. There was a story builder that mapped out the story elements with so many cool options, and it's so perfect for those who are just learning how to tell their own stories.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So here they call it the Creator's Grove. And basically, yung ginawa niya is gumawa siya ng mga story starters or scripts. For example, how do you start a story? So you have choices like the story takes place in, or the story is about. In the middle part of the story, you can start with your character wants to, but your character, meron bang ibang choice? No, it's the same. And in the end, you can say to solve the problem, your character. So it clearly teaches the kids how you can start the story, what happens in the middle, that there's usually something that the characters want to do. There's usually a problem. Every story usually has an end. Like, the story takes place in, and where do you want? Do you want to say an enchanted forest? Or do you want to say in outer space? A haunted mansion? Or the city? Or a school?
Or a bear.
Is that a bear? Are you a sloth? And then you can say, your character wants to go to the castle or encounter aliens. So you can choose, and it's like choose your own story. Oh my gosh, I love this. Do you want to make your story?
The story is about an explorer, and the explorer wants to what does the explorer want to do? Find the thief's hideout. But the explorer, my character, what do I want? Is feeling unwell. And so to solve the problem, what does the explorer do? Let's see, do I find a hidden shortcut, uncover a secret map, or make a new friend? I think my explorer gets a teleporter, bloop, straight into the toilet. Bye! I hope that you enjoyed this library tour, and baka naman, kung merong resources to make a facility, something like this for our country, I urge you to please do it, and I will support and collaborate in any way that I can. And because I had so much fun doing this, I might just start a library series from all of my travels. And if anyone is interested in more speech and language development content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at Teacher Kaye Talks. And hanggang sa muli, happy talking, happy storytelling, mabuhay!